When I started playing The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, my god, that's a long name, I didn't know what to expect, because I never played the original. I always wanted to, but by the time I went around to play it, the game felt dated, and the menus were hard to use. So I wasn't sure the quality that they would apply to this remaster, or remake as it was being called. I wasn't sure what I would get. And Bethesda is mostly to blame for this skepticism, because as of late, their projects have been mediocre at best. Oblivion shows us the true Bethesda vision, what Bethesda can achieve and create when they really care about a game. And not only is that shown in the original, it's shown here in the remaster. When Bethesda puts some effort and care into their projects, they are phenomenal. And this remaster is amazing. Not only was I blown away gameplay-wise of how they modernized it and made it easy for the average player to play, but it's also the value that they added, and this really caught me off guard. For the price you pay, you get every major DLC, like Shivering Isles, Knights of the Nine. You get it all packed in, which is honestly a steal compared to what most new games charge these days. And to be honest, that's sad. I shouldn't be praising a game for giving gamers their money's worth, but here I am, doing just that. However, with that said, Oblivion is proof that Bethesda can make a great game when they try. And this remaster farther proves that point. It proves that Bethesda, when they want to, can not only give us great value, but also a great experience. It's been tons of fun so far. So in this video, I want to tell you, in my honest opinion, why I believe that this game is worth checking out, especially if you're like me and you didn't have a chance to play the original. So strap that armor on your horse and let's get into it.
I can't believe it. I didn't really think this would work.
I never got around to playing the original Oblivion back in the day. You know, I didn't play it because I wasn't sure RPGs were my thing yet. They seemed like they took a lot of time and dedication that I wasn't willing to put into a game at the time. And so I ended up playing things like Battlefield, which gave me instant satisfaction. It was a lot simpler to get involved with, and I could easily pick it up and put it down at any moment. When I heard about this remaster, I figured it was my shot to finally try a game that I've always heard was a big deal, but I never got a chance to play. So far, I'm blown away, and it's easy to see why Oblivion has such a huge following. This feels like Bethesda at their best, crafting a world that just pulls you in. The Unreal Engine 5 visuals make everything look super sharp, from bustling towns to wide open fields that make you want to keep wandering around. Now, I've had a crash or two while playing, which is honestly annoying, but it's pretty standard for new releases, and it hasn't really slowed me down much. One thing I really like is that you get all the DLC included, like Shivering Isles with its wild, colorful landscapes and Knights of the Nine with its epic holy quest. For what you're paying, it's a ton of content, way more than you'd expect from most games today, where they nickel and dime you for every add-on. You know, I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the open world, but it's been awesome. The load times have been dramatically improved, in my opinion. Even though I didn't play the first game, I have seen people play it and the game took forever to load, especially when you're moving between big areas. But because it's been improved so much in this game, it doesn't really take away from how much there is to see and do. It doesn't break immersion. So in my honest opinion, the load times are barely noticeable. The remaster controls feel modern too. They feel like they've been streamlined to make things a lot easier for newer players to jump in, especially players like me who hated the OG menu system. It's one of the biggest reasons why I could never go back and play that game. And sometimes here the menus do feel a bit clunky, but it's a lot better than it was in the original. Now let's talk about what it's actually like to play this remaster, because this is where it really shines for me. The open world is just massive. You can wander into a forest or stumble on a hidden cave or get sidetracked helping a farmer with some random problem. It feels like there's always something to discover, which keeps you exploring. Something modern games don't really touch on that much anymore. However, sometimes the map can be a bit overwhelming, but that's just a small price to pay for how much freedom you get. Combat has been a pleasant surprise as well, and I honestly wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, but I love that it feels so simple, yet it's still kind of complex. You can swing a blade, block, or toss a fireball. It feels so satisfying. Of course, it's not always super smooth. Some attacks do feel a bit stiff, but it's got enough depth here to keep things interesting without being too complicated, and I think that's what's most appealing about it, for me anyways.
You mean you're too poor? That's a fair price for this horse.
The quests are another big draw, especially the guild storylines. The Fighters Guild has you taking on mercenary jobs like clearing out bandits or fighting mountain lions who are eating rats that someone has as pets. It feels pretty simple and straightforward, but also satisfying in a way. The Mages Guild focuses on magic and arcane mysteries, with tasks like hunting down rogue wizards that make you feel like you're a magical badass who's going to set the world on fire with magic. The Thieves Guild is all about stealth, of course, and cunning and sneaking through missions to pull off heists. And well, the Dark Brotherhood, well, it kind of speaks for itself. But if you're not familiar with it, those quests make you feel like a cold-blooded assassin, with missions that twist in ways that you don't expect. They're all varied, and I like how you can mix and match without being locked into one path or one guild. Sometimes the dialogue can feel a bit dated and you notice this, but the stories are strong enough that it doesn't bother me. What I appreciate as a new player to this game is how the remaster balances everything that the old did well while updating things for more of a modern audience. And the visuals make this game very easy to get into. It no longer looks like an outdated game. It looks amazing, but you still feel the depth of the original and the weight and feel of the original. They kept the soul of the game intact, and I'm happy that they did. If you're thinking about jumping into Oblivion Remastered for the first time, here's a tip. Don't try to do everything at once. This game can quickly become overwhelming. Pick one guild or one storyline like the Fighters Guild or the main quest and stick with it for a bit. This game's so big that spreading yourself too thin too fast can feel overwhelming. But focusing lets you really sink into the world. You know, I wasn't sure what to expect going into this, but this remaster has been a blast. It's got this mix of a huge living world, solid combat, and stories that pull you in, that get you involved. It's all wrapped up in a package that feels modern, but respects what made the original so special. Even with a few hiccups like occasional crashes or clunky menus, it's the kind of game that makes you want to keep playing just to see what's next. I can see myself doing a few runs of this game. For anyone who's been on the fence or who has never tried Oblivion before, I'd say this is definitely worth your time. It's a chance to experience a classic RPG with a fresh coat of paint, and it's been a great experience for me as my first time playing this game. So that's it. That's why I think The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is worth checking out. If you've been playing it or you're thinking about giving a shot, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear what's been standing out for you, what you love about it, what you noticed from the original to this one if you've played the original, or any tips that you might have for someone like me who is experiencing the game for the first time. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Hippo out.